You use Tearless Baby Shampoo because it's gentle on your baby's eyes. You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You always test the bathwater to make sure it's not too hot. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You make sure she wears a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You put on his sunscreen, even when he's embarrassed his friends will see. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Is your child facing the right way in the car seat? Is the seat too big or too small? How do you know when it's time to move your child into the next type of seat? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. That's safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Kelly Clarkson, and I've toured the country dozens of times, and there's one thing every state has in common: childhood hunger. The sad truth is that 17 million kids don't know where their next meal is coming from, or if it's even coming at all. Yet there are billions of pounds of surplus food around the country at farms and warehouses that could help end this injustice. But all that food is useless if it doesn't get where it needs to go. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gets it to hungry kids before it goes to waste. But they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank. Find out how at feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together we're Feeding America.
To help solve hunger in your community and to find your local food bank, visit feedingamerica.org. That's feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Game Day Uncensored Postgame Show, presented by McDonald's, with your host, Ben Hall.
The playoff. Tyler Luke from 44. The kick is no good! It is wide right! And the Steelers are the champions of the North!
Yes, that call courtesy of NBC. Unfortunately, the Ravens season comes to an end with very dramatic finish. Ravens back and forth. Lamar Jackson played at his best down the stretch, gets them down the field. They miss a 44-yard field goal. The rookie Tyler Loop goes wide right, and it's just something that feels like it's going to stick with us for a long time as Ravens fans. Disappointing finish to what was an awesome football game, start to finish. Back and forth. Both teams probably felt like they had the game won multiple times, and ultimately the Ravens had a chance to win it as time expired. Right down the middle, 44-yarder for the rookie, pushes wide right. And there's going to be a lot of questions all week. What's next for this team? Why did they decide 44 was a gimme? And I'm not putting a lot of this on the coaches. I thought maybe you let Derrick Henry run the ball up the middle once or twice with your 2 timeouts. They thought Loop was good from 44, and again, he pushes it wide right. And the Ravens season comes to an end, and it's going to start a long offseason that has a lot of questions. And let's be honest, this defense probably was not good enough to make it far in the playoffs as it was. They were going to have to win probably 1 or 2 home games and go on the road. The defense hadn't been playing good football. They hurt the Ravens in this one. I mean, the defense could have gotten off the field with a win, but the offense kept fighting back. The offense did their job, and the team comes up short. Coming into the game, I'll be completely honest with you. I said Tyler Loop would hit a game-winning field goal. And still, when they're lined up, I didn't feel good about it. You just never do. I just kept seeing the Billy Cundiff thing in my head. Billy Cundiff. All right, don't do it. And he pushes it wide right. And you knew it off the foot. I mean, you just saw it pushing that way off the foot. And he put his head down immediately and knew it was off. But, man, that's a tough one, a tough pill to swallow for the team. The way they fought, the way the offense started to turn it on, the passing offense looked as good as we've seen it all year long down the stretch. And it results in a loss at Pittsburgh to a team that a lot of people picked you to win. You know, sports books had you as a favorite, but you couldn't get the job done. You just could not. Man, it's tough sitting here to talk about it just with the hype of it, how important this game was, feeling like you were in it. And even after they scored the second Zay touchdown, you still, at least myself, I didn't think the defense was going to be able to get a stop. As soon as Boswell misses that extra point, you feel very good. I'm like, they're going to have a chance to win this game on a game-winning field goal. Then Stanley gets the penalty, and you don't feel great anymore. It's 4th and 7. Lamar takes a shot to Likely. Great catch by a guy going into a contract year. Lamar makes a great throw, sets them up for a 44-yard field goal. Again, they took the kneel instead of, I thought maybe you run it up the middle, try to get a few yards. Got to make the kick, though. You got to make the kick. And one issue here, you've never seen the kid kick an important kick. Unfortunately, it came in basically a playoff game. The battle for the AFC North is when the most important kick of his football career, and he goes wide right. There's a lot of storylines to talk about. We're going to talk about the kick all day because ultimately they were in position to win the game and should have. But the defense, as soon as Kyle Hamilton went out, it wasn't good as it was, right? It just wasn't. Kyle Hamilton has held them up long enough. But once he went down, Aaron Rodgers just started playing with these guys. I mean, he did. He just was having fun out there. And that's all he really needed to do against this defense. Guys were wide open. Awuzie played great all game, but slipping on the Calvin Austin touchdown catch. Unfortunate. There's no way around that. It's unfortunate that it came down to that. But they had a chance. They had a great chance. And when I saw him lined up down the middle, I thought for sure it was good. I'll be honest. I'm like, straight down the middle, you got to feel good about this one. And he goes wide right. That was their pick, their kicker, and he missed it. They've had a lot of success with kickers in the past. And again, it's just going to be a conversation we talk about for so long. But ultimately, I don't think this team was good enough to do anything in the playoffs. They just weren't. That defense not being able to stop the Browns, not being able to stop the Steelers after the Browns did what they did. The Steelers couldn't do anything last week against Cleveland, except for the final drive where they went down the field and still came up short. There was no looking back against the Ravens. As soon as Hamilton went down, it was touchdown, I think field goal, touchdown. It's unfortunate. It's another one of these heartbreaking losses in Baltimore. It's something we're going to have to deal with for weeks. We're going to be seeing that missed field goal for a while now. And it's unfortunate. I mean, he drills the 40-yarder earlier in the game, but this one, again, it never had a chance. Didn't even hang up there. I mean, as soon as it was off his foot, you knew it was wide right. We're going to have conversations about the head coach. We're going to have a lot of conversations on this show throughout the week. It's going to be an interesting offseason in Baltimore for a lot of different reasons. And this game felt pretty important for the future of the head coach. Whatever happens with the Lamar extension, Lamar didn't come up short here. In the big moment, people have questioned him in the playoffs. People have questioned him a lot of different times. Lamar made the throws he needed to win this football game down the stretch. In the fourth quarter, Lamar Jackson was at his best. He just was. But a lot of pressure on a rookie kicker, but you got to make that kick. You have to. At some point, it was going to come, whether that was during earlier in the regular season, which it never did. Against Cleveland was the only time it felt like they were pretty close, and they had the hurricane play, didn't have to kick one. But man, it's tough that it comes there, and you just fall on your face in that spot. You just fall on your face in that spot. 410-583-1057 is the number to call. We'll take your calls throughout the show. Whatever you guys want to discuss, we'll get some audio as soon as we get it. And always, as always, we do have to hit the game highlights.
Game highlights are sponsored by the Green Turtle, featuring the Turtle Trio. 3 favorites for $15.99 plus $2 off personal pitchers.
3rd and 4. Steelers bring 4. Highsmith is there. Jackson got away. Now reloads and throws to Flowers downfield. He's got range again. Play clock running. Rodgers throwing in the middle. It's Fairmouth. First and goal, Pittsburgh at the 6. Lamar Jackson had it rejected, intercepted on the deflection. T.J. Watt. Highsmith deflected it. Watt has his second. 3rd and 1. Fake to Henry Jackson. Shot downfield. Zay Flowers again. Zay Flowers inside the 20. He's going to go. There is a flag on the far side of the field. Rodgers protected. Throws to Austin for the touchdown.
Yeah, all the highlights there, of course, except the one that we came in with. Man, that video is going to sting for a while. It is what it is. And it was interesting listening to Collinsworth on the call. Like, he consistently said Baltimore's pass rush is going to be the reason they lose this game if it comes down to it, if they lose this one. And ultimately, you had a kick with a chance to win it because the offense did their job. But the defense could not get a stop on a Steelers passing offense that's just not it. It isn't. We can point the finger at Luke. He had a chance to win the game, and that would have quieted everything else. They would have won the game. But there was absolutely no pass rush in the most important moments of this football game, and that bit them. And it's been something that's hurt them all season long. After the Draymond Jones edition, the first few games, maybe it was just because it was the newness of it and he was here. It looked fine. It looked like he would work. They still don't have anybody that Rodgers was scared of. Rodgers looked so damn confident there. And we know he's had these drives, but that was years ago. It's not a knock to Rodgers, but at this point in his career, not being able to get off the field there is a massive issue. You got guys in the secondary falling down. You have nobody getting to the quarterback. I mean, the one Rodgers 15-yard run. It's just the defense has a lot of issues, and there's a lot of holes they need to fix. Because in this past offseason, they didn't have to do much. They felt like the team was built the way they needed it to be. And they've never, in recent years, they haven't had great edge rushers. I mean, they just haven't. But they've had a lot of sacks because they produced them in different. Odafe Owe, 10-plus sack season. Now, I know he goes to the Chargers and has success, but he wasn't doing much of that this year. Some of those were coverage sacks, and he wasn't making the plays that he's made in L.A. Some of that scheme, some of that's coaching, development. There's a lot of different ways you can point, but I'd also say right now, at the minimum, and we're going to get into the coaches' discussion. We're going to get to all your phone calls very shortly. At the minimum, Zach Orr's got to be done. I mean, Zach Orr has got to be. I like the idea. Was a young guy who played. He could relate to the guys. Harbaugh chose him, and it backfires. 410-583-1057 is the number. We will get to your calls. Let's start with Chris in Parkdale. What's going on, Chris?
Hey, how we doing tonight?
Doing all right, man. How you doing?
Good. I mean, I'll tell you what, at the start of the season, we should have never got to where we are, having even a chance to make the playoffs. But it's just like, it just feels like it's heartbreaking losses every year. And it's just, I don't know. It's getting ridiculous. And at what point do we let go of Harbaugh? And it's like, I don't want to jump to conclusions and say it's all Harbaugh's fault. But, I mean, I feel like it's got to be now. Yeah. No, I appreciate the call, Chris. I mean, you're right. I mean, Harbaugh didn't miss the kick. Harbaugh didn't fall on his face down the stretch. But Harbaugh is the coach. And you make the point. Every single loss at the end of the season is like this. I mean, it just feels like there's opportunities, and they come up short. And you don't know when it's ever going to change. Some of this is on DeCosta. I mean, the rushing issues, edge rushers, that's on how the team's built. That's not on John. I mean, they still were good enough to win this game. And now they should have been, but they had a field goal, a 44-yard field goal that you got to knock through the uprights. And I've been very critical of Harbaugh in here. I do think it's his time's passed. The message has gotten stale. The same losses occur all the time. Today it was just
Takes you back to the New England game. It's unfortunate. It just really is the roller coaster of emotions with that game where you felt like, Zay catches the first touchdown, I'm jumping up thinking it's probably done. Defense falls on their face. Zay scores the second one. All right, this one you got to get right. And one thing with Loop that we haven't even got to, the mistakes kicking the football off. It looks like around the league when you watch other teams, a lot of their kickers have mastered the knuckleball, putting it right where they want and making it difficult for teams to return it. Teams getting out to the 22, 25. The Ravens kick it to the sideline out of bounds to put teams at the 40, or they have to kick it straight out and put them at the 35 because they have no success with it. And John's a special teams guy. They brought Horton back after the struggles with special teams last year. I'll give all the credit in the world to Jordan Stout. He's been phenomenal. Don't have an issue with him. I think you got to extend him. Find a way. He's been very good punting the football. But it sucks that we have to talk about the punter because the offense had struggled for a good portion of the season. It's just where we are. 410-583-1057 is the number to call. We will get to all of you guys. Brian, Ed, Rob, Jesse, David, Tico, Chuck, everybody, we will get to you guys, but we do have to hit a break here on the Baltimore Game Day Uncensored Postgame Show.
When someone treats you like family, you remember it. That's why so many clients send their loved ones to Rice Law. Because we don't just handle cases, we take them personally. Rice Law. Best advice, call Rice.
RiceLawMD.com.
We hope you never need us, but if you're ever injured in an accident, we'll handle everything with trusted guidance and personal attention so you can focus on what matters most, your recovery. Rice Law. Best advice, call Rice.
RiceLawMD.com.
At Straight Talk, we get it. You say no a lot.
Mom, can I get a tarantula?
No.
Coffee?
No. So we're giving you more reasons to say yes, like a free 5G phone with real unlimited data with select plan activation.
Can I use the free phone?
Yes. See? Doesn't it feel good to say yes to more?
Absolutely. Face tattoo?
Absolutely not. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. In-store activation of Gold Unlimited plan or higher required. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Rain on game day doesn't faze Dave. He's already got his poncho. Just needs to do something about those wipers. So Dave heads to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner helps him get premium quiet wipers and some hand warmers.
You're all set.
Now, if only his team can handle the elements as well as his new wipers. Get wipers, glass cleaner, and more with no hassles, just help at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
It's the McDonald's postgame show. Call or text with your take on the Ravens game. 410-583-1057.
7, season on the line. Jackson lofting it up, and it is held on to by Isaiah Likely at the 22-yard line.
Yes, the Isaiah Likely catch. 26 yards. Thought for sure game was in their hands. The emotion, everything riding there to miss a 44-yard field goal. As I said before, I didn't feel good, but 55, we know he's been short a little bit. 50s, you're not feeling good, but 44, it felt like, man, they're setting you up here. You got to drill this one. And he goes wide right. Now, he's young, hasn't had many of those opportunities. I don't want to overreact, but they put you in that spot. You got to come through for them. The offense did exactly what they needed to. I mean, if you told me they were going to score that many points, 24 in Pittsburgh with a field goal opportunity late, you should win that game. Pittsburgh's offense has just not been good. The defense was horrendous down the stretch. As good as they were stopping the run early, that fell apart. Then Aaron Rodgers is picking them apart. And I keep talking about how confident he looked. When they've gotten flustered, go watch the Cleveland game last week. I'm sure everybody was, with how important it was. Every single snap, he just looked frustrated and angry and yelling at guys, pointing the finger. The final few snaps, like that, those last 3 drives, I mean, he was in his bag. It looked like vintage. You got to be able to get off the field once. Force a turnover. And I get it, you don't have the highest paid safety in the NFL out there. That hurts. But still, you got to be able to get a stop there. 410-583-1057 is the number to call. Let's start with Brian in Owings Mills. What's going on, Brian?
Ben, I just want to say, man, I'm going to miss you, man. This has been an ugly season. It's been hard. It's been hard to watch, but you got me through it, bro. So I love you, man. I can't wait till next year, maybe the draft. You going to be covering the draft?
Probably a little bit with Cordell during the week. Cordell and I will be on.
Yeah, I'll be listening. I'll call in. If you take calls, I'll call in for the draft. But anyway, man, let me just say, Harbaugh, goodbye. See you later. That dagger, you know what? It was a conduct moment, but I don't care. I want this guy out of here. This whole coaching staff needs to go. The swing pass, when you need to go down the field, what the hell was that about? Made no sense to me. It's just, I'm just sick of, and then Eric DeCosta too. I love how you brung the heat with that. Yeah, I hold him accountable too because these have been some ugly picks. So Harbaugh, goodbye. New staff in here, good. Eric DeCosta, he'll be back, but he'll be looked at closely, and the draft got to get better, and free agency signing definitely has to get better, and there's a lot of guys that got to go. Thanks for taking my call.
Appreciate it, Brian. Appreciate the kind words. And that's going to be the conversation for pretty shortly. I mean, they talked about it pregame. We heard Florio talking about it. Schefter's been talking. A lot of insiders. It's going to have to be a quick decision because you want to find the best candidate out there. And it also interests me, could you trade John Harbaugh? Could you get something valuable for a head coach that's got his track record? Now, you know how a lot of Baltimore feels about him. But the saying is, you always hear it when you bring up John Harbaugh, he'd have another job tomorrow. If that's the case, you should be able to get something for him. Now, the issue with that is, how long does that drag out? Who is quickly giving up a first or second round pick to add him? It's very interesting conversation, but it's all going to have to come to a head quick. It's going to have to. And Bisciotti and DeCosta, it's going to be a quick decision for those guys. I mean, you mentioned EDC. I don't expect anything to change with the general manager. I would expect him to be back, and him and Bisciotti will pick the next head coach. That's where I think it heads. But again, it's going to be an interesting few days, a few weeks. And then when you get into the offseason where you're trying to get an extension done with Lamar, it's going to be a lot of things going on for Ravens fans this offseason. 410-583-1057. Let's go to Rob in Towson. What's going on, Rob?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing all right, man. How you doing?
So I wouldn't want to root for either of these teams in the postseason. But, that being said, I feel like I'm going to root for Mike McDonald and the Seahawks because just to show Bisciotti what we should have had as a head coach. I just wanted to comment on that last series. I mean, another illegal formation. We had 3 timeouts, and they never ran the ball. I don't understand the play calling. And so then we just need Lamar heroics, on a 4th down. Tyler Huntley last week showed way better poise than Lamar did this week. And I think, lastly, that Harbaugh and Lamar are a bad combo. They both melt when things don't go their way. So that's what I got.
Yeah, appreciate the call, Rob. Not sure about the poise thing. Lamar looked pretty poised the final few possessions when he needed to and ultimately got them right down to where they needed to. You can't put that game on Lamar Jackson. He had some struggles. The third quarter, he wasn't great. Didn't throw the ball much in the first half. But to say there was more poise, I mean, Tyler Huntley was handing the ball to Derrick Henry 35 times last week. When this offense today needed anything in the second half, in the fourth quarter, Lamar Jackson made a play. again, we can talk about some of the struggles earlier in the game, but in the most important moments of this football game, when everybody always tells me Lamar Jackson falls on his face, he looked pretty damn good. So I can't agree with that. Huntley didn't make any throws down the field. Made a nice throw on an out to Zay. That was a short pass. He didn't have to do much. They weren't stretching the ball down the field like that with Tyler Huntley. So I would like to just push back on that one there. 410-583-1057. Jesse and Jessup. What's going on, Jesse?
Hey, man. How's it going?
Doing well, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. I mean, I've been better after this game, obviously, but I got a couple things I just want to point out. I feel like all season we've been blaming Harbaugh. We've been blaming Lamar. And as we should. I feel like Harbaugh's past his prime. But today in this game, it fell on the defense.
Yeah.
We messed up. I feel like Harbaugh and Lamar did what they needed to do. That 3rd-and-1 play call to go for the pass to Zay Flowers was awesome. I think it took them off their toes. But it really just it sucks because it feels like more of a Billy Cundiff moment. And I know he's a rookie, but it really sucks, man. And I'm going to just say this. I'm in a band called Drunk on Monday, and I really feel like tomorrow we're going to be all drunk as Ravens fans because this is really hard to get through. You know what I mean?
I hear you, Jesse. Appreciate the call. It's absolutely tough to get through. It really is, and because it just feels like heartbreak every year. The wins never feel easy, except during early in the regular season. This year, no win. Nothing felt really easy. But, man, it's just tough because they were starting to right some wrongs, the offense at least. I mean, we've dealt with all the talk about Lamar and all of this, and he just made throw after throw after throw down the stretch. And even the one to DeAndre Hopkins, if they wouldn't have gotten in field goal range, we would have heard to talk about that. He's trying to get D-Hop down the field, which ultimately could have resulted in a touchdown, and we're not even talking about a missed field goal. It's tough. It really, really is tough as a Ravens fan because, it feels like you're dealing with this every single year, and they just can't get over that hump. Cannot do it. Can't. And that's why there's going to have to be change. They need some change this offseason in a lot of different ways. They're going to have to add to a lot. I mean, the defense is just unbelievably bad. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers passing offense, you got Adam Thielen whining for a flag every other play. But the second down where they jump up and stop him, I'm thinking, here you go. This is it. Next play, Awuzie falls down. It's like, man. And the 55 seconds left, I'm still sitting here thinking, how good Lamar Jackson is, he's going to get them a chance to win this game. And he did just that. He did just that. With a beautiful throw to Isaiah Likely, put it only where he could catch the football. And he gets his field goal kicker in field goal range. And we're still going to have people talking about, during the week, the most irrelevant stuff with Lamar Jackson. It's just, it's unfortunate. But hopefully they fix a lot of their wrongs in the offseason. They're going to have to hit on day 3 draft picks. I mean, this is a tough fix. Because for so long, Lamar and this offense held up. When you had Mike as the D coordinator, you knew it was never going to be. I mean, they won the Triple Crown. You knew it was never going to be that again. And then Mike goes to Seattle. That defense is teeing off, playing great football. They're the 1 seed. And here, this defense can't stop Aaron Rodgers at age 42 in the most important game of the year after the offense has scored 2 50-plus yard touchdowns. 410-583-1057. Let's go to Ed in Boston. What's going on, Ed?
Hey, that was an absolutely brutal loss. I'm not even a Baltimore fan. I'm a Pats fan. But from the outside looking in, I could tell you a couple weeks ago, I'm like, how is this team not have a better record than they have watching them play the Patriots? Bottom line is, it's got to be, if you have that many offensive powers, that highly ranked, and even if your defense is bad and you can't compensate for that, it's either the coordinator, the head coach. This comes down to coaching. The coaching's not up to snuff. They got too much talent on that team to end up 8-win team at the end of the year. And I think that's pretty much the bottom line.
Yeah.
Go Pats.
Appreciate the call, Ed. No, do not go Pats. Go Ravens. Yeah, they were in a bunch of games. They should have beat the Steelers last time they played them. They should have beat the Steelers this time. But outside of those 2 games last year at the bank, it feels like these always go Pittsburgh's way every single time. And today it wasn't. You had the TJ Watt interception, which was just head scratching. But outside of that, I mean, they didn't shoot themselves in the foot much. There wasn't the costly fumble. They made a bunch of plays down the stretch, couldn't get a stop, and had a 44-yard field goal with a chance to head home. Had a chance to win it and ultimately couldn't. Just frustrating and unfortunate. 410-583-1057. Let's go to David in Baltimore. What's going on, David?
Beltway. I got a couple points. My first point is that this defense might be worse than Kaysville High School our sophomore year, homecoming night. I mean, it's just bad. But we know what it is about Zach Horn. Second point, whoever was talking about my GOAT, my angel Lamar Jackson, saying he had no poise, he won us the game. He did what he needed to do at the end. So I don't know where that came from. That's just, that's crazy. And then third thing, Harbaugh, you're not getting off the hook with this one, my friend. You had 3 timeouts. Why are you not running the ball? To get a little bit closer for your rookie kicker to win the game. This man might be the worst coach when it comes to situational football in key moments. He just collapses. So my third and final point, EDC and Bashadi. You give Lamar whatever he wants, and you tell Orr and Harbaugh goodbye and don't let the door hit you on the way out. I'll talk to you tomorrow, Ben.
Appreciate the call, Dave. My guy Dave, one of my close friends, my brother David. Yeah, I can't really argue much there. Man, it's unfortunate that it comes down to that. And he makes the point that I brought up a little bit earlier. You still got to drill the 44-yarder, but you had timeouts. You have a rookie kicker that you don't know exactly what's going to happen in the big moment. I don't love acting like a 44-yarder is a guarantee, a gimme. I don't want to overdo it. I just don't love that we're acting like that's free. In the NFL, it's just not. We just saw Chris Boswell, who's a far better kicker than Tyler Loop at this point in his career, miss an extra point. You know Loop sees that. Loop's human. He's feeling it's tough, right? He's got the butterflies in his stomach. It's his first important kick, and he shoots it wide right. Now, if they run the ball up the middle and Derrick Henry gets 10 more or breaks one for a touchdown, who knows? And they had the timeouts to do it. They felt like 44 was enough. It's just unfortunate. 410-583-1057. Let's go to Tico in Adelphi. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Nothing much going.
Man, I'm pretty sad, bro. It sucks. Our defense got really beat up out there. Hamilton coming out with the concussion. Yeah. They were getting killed out there, but Lamar put his cape on. Yep. He did what he had to do. He got the team down there. And it sucks that Luke, man, he messed up on that kickoff. He put them at the 40 and then that field goal. It sucks. It does. It's reminiscing of Billy Cundiff, and I don't know, man. It's just very heartbreaking because Lamar did what he had to do.
Yeah.
God bless you, bro. And hopefully next year, it's a different story.
Yeah. Appreciate the call, Tico. Really appreciate that. And yeah, when I was offered the opportunity to do postgame, I thought for sure we would be making a little bit of a run in the playoffs. We'd have a bunch of shows down the stretch. It'd be an interesting year. It was certainly an interesting year, just not the finish we all looked forward to. And yeah, the one difference with the Cundiff kick, you didn't have Lee Evans dropping a touchdown on a beautiful ball to win it, right? Instead, you had Isaiah Likely making a great catch, Lamar Jackson making a great throw, and being right where they needed to. But even then, 5 more yards rush, could you have ran the football? A lot of questions we asked, but ultimately you come up short. Unfortunate, but sometimes that's just how it is as a Ravens fan. It is. And there's going to be, again, a lot of conversation on this show, on every show during the week. What is next for the Ravens? How can they take a step forward? Do they need to shake up the coaching staff? I certainly think so. 410-583-1057 if you want to get in. Phone lines are full. We will get to all of you guys coming up next. I want to let the fans get in their thoughts as much as you guys can. So we will get to you guys as soon as we get back from this break here on the Baltimore Game Day Uncensored Postgame Show.
Happy New Year, and thank you, Baltimore. When I started Amazing Heating and Air, I knew what I wanted. I wanted to start the best darn plumbing, heating, and air company in the city. But I had no idea if customers would respond. After all, I was going up against some really big plumbing, heating, and air conditioning companies, many of whom are now really well funded through private equity. But so many of you have made Amazing your go-to for plumbing, heating, and air service that we've grown quite a bit over the years. So it's only fitting that I say thank you. And I'm doing that with a gift. I'm giving away 2 years of our Comfort Club membership with any new system purchase between now and the end of Martin Luther King Day. So while I hope you have an amazing new year and that you don't need us this season, if you do, my thank you gifts are waiting for you at
CALLAMAZING.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
The Maryland Energy Administration thinks your kid's school year shouldn't start in a cloud of diesel exhaust. That's why the Electric School Bus Grants Program helps school districts invest in cleaner electric buses. Electric buses deliver lower long-term fuel and maintenance costs for school districts and cleaner rides for our kids every day. Tell your school district to apply at energy.maryland.gov.
Catch of the Day is sponsored by Town Appliance and Owings Mills. They have you covered for all your indoor and outdoor appliance needs.
7, season on the line. Jackson lofting it up, and it is held on to by Isaiah Likely at the 22-yard line.
What else could it be? The most important catch that it felt like to that point in the game. A great throw, a great catch. It felt like it'd be an all-time moment, a video we'd be looking at for a while. The throw to win the division, the catch to win the division. And instead, we're going to be watching this video of a missed kick. And it's unfortunate for Tyler Loop. Young, a lot of pressure on him. But you're put in that spot. You got to make the kick. I feel bad for him. And again, I don't think, let's be honest here, I don't think that this team was going to go on a run. I don't think the defense was near as good enough. And Kyle Hamilton, depending on the severity of the concussion, if he missed the Houston game, we saw what Aaron Rodgers was doing at CJ Stroud. We already saw him put up 44 in Baltimore when he did. And I know the defense was more banged up then, but no Kyle Hamilton would have been a disaster. And even with him out there, the defense wasn't great. So I don't know, but they still should have won the division. But here we are. 410-583-1057 is the number to call. Let's get back to the phone lines now. Eugene and Parkville. What's going on, Eugene?
Oh, hey, what's going on, Dan? How you feel?
Doing all right, man. How you doing?
I'm doing bad now.
I hear you.
After that loss. Hey, I actually can piggyback on a lot of people that called, but we touched on one thing. We could erase the whole game until we get down to the end. We get down to under that minute. We got the ball. We got 3 timeouts. We burned 1. We got 2 timeouts. Hardball. I've been wanting Hardball. When we won the last Super Bowl, I wanted Hardball gone. Before we won the last Super Bowl, after we won the last Super Bowl, I did call the radio. They say, "Oh, you crazy? Get rid of Hardball." And I've been wanting to get rid of him. But this is the biggest thing about coaching. How in the world can we be? Well, we made the big play. Okay, Lamar did his job. He made the big play when it counted. Likely, I know you like me. He gets the ball. Yeah, y'all can't take this one from me this week. Okay, we're in field goal range. Okay, we just need a field goal to win the game. We got 2 timeouts. With that amount of time, with a rookie kicker coming, we've been here before, Harbaugh, with a rookie kicker that missed the field goal in a crucial time to take us to the Super Bowl, and you rely on Luke that missed all these. I was giving him the blues all game. But my wife said, "Don't say that, babe." I said, "Babe, I ain't buying Luke yet. He missed too many extra points, PATs. I can't buy a kicker that missed a PAT." So we right here. I ain't had no faith in him. I said, we got to score here. We're in field goal range. You got to run it at least one time, Harbaugh. At least one time. Run the ball at least one time. We got 2 timeouts. Run it. Give it to 22. They can't stop them no way. They're going to commit to the run because we only need a field goal. But at least give it to them. We might pick up 2 or 3 yards. That might have made it a little easier for Luke. He could have still missed it. But you, as a coach, you can't make that play. Harbaugh been riding this whole time. In my opinion, he just been riding. When he got here, he walked into a great situation. He walked in, we just needed a quarterback. He walked in, we had a legitimate tight end, veteran wide receivers, one of the best running backs in football, one of the best offensive lines in football. We had the best defense, in my opinion, at the time in football. And then he went to the playoffs. You know what I mean? Flacco breaking all these records. Now I feel like him and Tomlin been riding the wave when they've been long tender coaches, but they've been riding the wave that was set for them. But neither one of them built the team. In my opinion, they didn't when it was time to build the team, they can't do it. We haven't developed no wide receivers since Harbaugh been here. Once everybody retired, he can't develop receivers. He can't develop coaches. Look, the turnover of coaches is out of control. Tell me. The offensive coordinators, as soon as a problem, we fire offensive coordinator. So is it really Monken or is it Harbaugh? The head coach makes the decisions. People keep thinking it's Monken. The head coach tells the offensive coordinator when he wants. When we practicing, we doing walkthroughs, and we say, hey, this is the game plan. Yeah, I agree with that. When the head coach think something ain't right and it's halftime, he go in, he adjusts. He say, hey, no, we need to change what we doing. Harbaugh do not do that. He happily does it. He need to go. It's time for him to get a one-way ticket out of Baltimore.
Yeah, appreciate the call, Eugene. I agree with the communication. Ultimately, he is the head coach, and I always get so frustrated when I hear on Monday he would say, we got to talk about that. It was frustrating. Like, no, you're the head coach. You should be talking about that during the game. 410-583-1057. Let's try to get you guys as quickly as possible, see if you can get to your point. I want to get to every single caller tonight. I know a lot of fans got a lot of stuff to get off their chest. A very unfortunate night in Baltimore, but we will let the fans speak. 410-583-1057. Chuck in Baltimore. What's going on, Chuck?
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Good night, man. How you doing?
I don't blame Harbaugh tonight. Lamar played a great game. I thought he was Lamar. I do blame Harbaugh for one thing. We need a better defensive coordinator. I mean, Zach Orr's got to go, in my opinion. But it's not that. Brady's played a good game. That's what I think.
Yeah, appreciate the call, Chuck. They're definitely going to have a new defensive coordinator, whether that's with the new head coach. Jesse Minter is a hot name. If Jesse Minter takes over, he'll be calling the defense in Baltimore as the head coach. Mike McDonald does it in Seattle. Would have been interesting to see what that looks like in Baltimore, but we didn't get that. That would have been a very ballsy decision. But sometimes you have to take those risks if you want to reach a new level. And falling short in the divisional round and the AFC Championship when you're hosting against Kansas City, you got to do something to take that next step because it never really felt – you couldn't do it with the offense in 2023 and the Triple Crown defense. When are you going to do it? And now that you missed the playoffs – coming into the season as the odds-on favorite, something's got to change. 410-583-1057. AJ in Baltimore. What's going on? You there, AJ?
Hey. Hello?
Yeah, gotcha.
Hey, look. Let me say this. Half of the Baltimore fan base is stupid, right? So everybody call in, talk about Harbaugh, this, that, and the third. Yo, let me say this. When we won the Super Bowl in 2012, 2013, who did Harbaugh fire and bring in mid-season to get the Super Bowl? He fired Cam Cameron.
Yep.
He He brought in Jim Caldwell. We won the Super Bowl. Y'all stupid. I'm pissed off because people don't even really watch the game. They emotional. They say whatever, and I'm going to make this short. You sit there and you talk about Zach Orr, but Zach Orr shut out a high-powered offense in the Bengals. Didn't nobody say nothing. Y'all ain't say nothing. They didn't call into you. They didn't call in the morning to Mike Preston cooning ass. They did.
Sorry we lost you there. I listen, post-game that game, I gave him credit. I think I gave him credit when the defense showed up. But ultimately, right here, I do think that there has to be a finger pointed to Zach Orr. And the Bengals offense also didn't look great all year. Now, they did shut them down. The Bengals offense looked better the time they played them before that. But I don't know how realistically we can run this back. We can keep Zach Orr. We can keep Todd Monken. We can keep John Harbaugh. What's going to change? Now, I said it before. John Harbaugh was put in a not a great spot. Not a great spot in terms of edge rushers. But still, he has some saying that. Like, I also don't like the when we only point to the general manager with team building. The head coach has some say in that as well. 410-583-1057 is the number to call. Let's go to Bruce in Reisterstown. What's going on, Bruce?
Yeah, hey, how you doing? I just want to say first that Lamar is Lamar. You don't want to get rid of Lamar.
Yeah.
You don't want to get rid of Lamar. But, I mean, this is the thing. The Ravens, the defense is horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a spot. It's just horrible. I mean, it's painful to watch them. They can't tackle. They can't wrap up. And these are professional ball players. Right? So they need to do something about that. Zach Orr, I'm sure he's a nice guy. Don't know him, but I'm sure he's a nice guy. Right? But I don't think he needs to be in that kind of position. Look, you're supposed to be a championship-ready team. You can't come in there with somebody learning. Right? And the kicker, I thought they should have got a little closer.
Yeah.
Right? I know he's a rookie, but I want to still try to give him the best shot possible rather than, just going in, positioning the ball. So I think he should have given just fair. He might be great one day, but he's a rookie. Right? And then I watch his approach when he kicks. Is a lot of time his landing, how he hits it, that happens a lot. So I think he should have positioned, got a little bit closer with that. Because right in there, the stage, on the big stage, he comes in. But I'm not surprised because the Ravens been doing this for a long time now.
Yep.
Right? They've been wilting in the end, and they better than some teams. They got talent there. You ain't got to complete overhaul. But Orr's gone. I don't know who it is that's calling the offensive plays. I'm going to do something with that. I don't know who's calling. They say somebody said Harbaugh's calling, and somebody says the offensive coach called. I don't know. Well, whoever's calling, that's not good enough.
Yeah, appreciate the call, Bruce. It's absolutely Monken calling them. Harbaugh has had the play sheet, I think, to force Derrick Henry's hand a little bit, or force Monken's hand with Derrick Henry a little bit more in that instance, but he's not a play caller. And that's why there's comparisons to Andy Reid. And Andy Reid, as had all those struggles in Philadelphia, could not get over the hump, and then goes somewhere else and does. The difference there is Andy Reid is the play caller in Kansas City. Wherever John Harbaugh goes, I mean, he's got the defensive and special teams background, and he's a leader of men, but I do expect him to be coaching somewhere next year. If the Ravens are going to move on, I'd absolutely try to trade him, but this is going to happen pretty fast. And if you want one of your top candidates, you got to find him soon. 410-583-1057. Let's go to Rob in Annapolis. What's going on, Rob? You there, Rob?
Hey guys. Sorry, yeah, I'm here.
All good.
So disappointed.
Yeah.
I have to say the tough thing about being a Ravens fan is every year in, year out, talking to my friends around the country, we expect to be so competitive. It's such a great team. And we feel like we almost get there every year. And my fear is, we do need to move on from Harbaugh. It's led us to a great spot. But Bisciotti's too loyal. I don't think he will move on. I hope he does, but Harbaugh almost took us there, and this loss wasn't his fault. Well, it was in some ways, but not necessarily. And it's just so frustrating. I'm not that heartbroken because we weren't a playoff team. But at the same time, I'm not sure that the organization is going to do what we need to do to take us to the next level. I'm curious your thoughts there.
Yeah, appreciate the call, Rob. I agree. Bisciotti really does not. I don't know that he wants to have to overhaul the coaching staff and completely change things. But if the ultimate goal is a Super Bowl in Baltimore, and you know Lamar's prime isn't going to last forever, you got to think a young mind, something new, a new message, a new leader. It's gotta happen. If we're fine with getting into the wild card and getting in the divisional round, and making the AFC Championship once or twice over the next few years, usually I'd say run it back, but I don't know that the way that this team's built right now, that message from this year and the past 20 years is going to be able to stick. I just don't. It felt like this year a lot more stuff got out to the media. Players frustrated with their roles, frustrated with the coaches, but they wouldn't. It was anonymous, but there was a lot of players who spoke out a little bit. So it's going to be a very interesting offseason, as I've said throughout the show. We do want to get to a few more phone calls here. Tay in Baltimore. What's going on, Tay? We got you there, Tay?
Yeah, the other call. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, got you.
Yeah. I'm just basically saying the Harbaugh era is over. Like, I'm 31. I've been watching you, Phil, since I was born. The team revolted against Harbaugh during that Super Bowl run. I mean, we ain't had a bunch of trash teams. The only thing that's still same and not contributing is Harbaugh. Like we ain't used Lamar, right? We call them plays on offense with emotion, not logic. That's what it felt like. The offensive line, defensive line, everybody knew what it was, but chose not to get fixed. We got enough stars on our defense mixed with average players to have a better defense. So I got to put that on Zach Orr, because they bend, don't break, but then eventually they break. So it don't make sense. I mean, hold on. And the Baltimore Sun reporters, they got to go with Harbaugh, because that's crazy. You can just talk about our quarterback like that. That's wild. So I ain't mad at Luke. He a rookie. He should have been in that position because we had timeouts. We had time for a quick pass on the sideline for 5 yards or a quick run up the middle, timeout, bang. But, no, Harbaugh. So that's just how I feel. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate the call, Tay. Yeah, a lot of good points there. The Baltimore Sun article wasn't a fan of it. I'm right there with you. Also, the timing of it, when some of those rumors have been around for years. And no, I don't think this team can move on from Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. I think we saw him deal with a lot of adversity this year between injuries, very bad offensive line play. And sometimes he wasn't great, but I don't think Lamar Jackson was 100% for the majority of the year. Some people want to try to argue that 1 year changes that much. I mean, last year, Lamar Jackson statistically had one of the best passing years in the history of the NFL. He's also looked a lot faster. He was moving around more. And then the quitting on the team thing, just stop it. I don't want to hear that either. Lamar Jackson is the least of this team's worries. In a year where there's all of these holes around the Baltimore Ravens, we're going to contemplate moving on from a 2-time MVP, should have been 3-time MVP. If you're going to do that, then shoot for 0-17 next year. Try to get a number 1 pick. And for probably multiple tries, you're going to see if you can find a Lamar Jackson again. I mean, that's what you're going to do. Let's be real. All those draft picks, you're going to be trying to find one of the top quarterbacks. And Lamar Jackson's one of one. At 75% today. He just changes the game. And the ball was in his hands in the most important drives of the game 3 times today. each time he did what he needed to. And they came out with a loss. We got to, the messaging from the head coach, I think, has got to change. It's going to be interesting to see what they ultimately do. 410-583-1057, Franchise in Delaware. What's going on, Franchise?
Hey, Ben. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
Ben, first question is, do you think that our current GM, DaCosta, is the right person to pick the next head coach? Because, if you have owner Bisciotti, who's going to make the ultimate decision, if you're going to clean house, I think you got to start with the GM. And I would not trust DaCosta to hire this next head coach. So my first question to you is, DaCosta should be the first one to go. If you are able to trade Harbaugh, Atlanta's already been the first team up. Usually you have about 6 openings on Black Monday tomorrow. You got to quickly find a way to trade him instead of paying him $17 million for the next 2 years. That's question number 2. Who's willing to give up draft picks for John Harbaugh? So first question is, do you get rid of DaCosta first? Second question is, what team would be out there willing to give us draft picks for Harbaugh? And then the last question is, I know on the podium $73 million was asked. There has to be a renegotiation to be able to get under the cap to build a roster. And I know Lamar didn't want to answer the question at this time, but ultimately he's got to restructure his deal, because you cannot have a $73 million cap hit on one player. It's just not gonna work. So those are my 3 questions.
Yeah, appreciate the call, Franchise. Always appreciate your post-game call. I'll start with the DaCosta of it all. It's a tough situation because we've never seen him have to choose a head coach. And this is going to be the first time, right? And last time, Bisciotti was all on board with Harbaugh. I would say Bisciotti's going to have say in the next head coach. I think he will ultimately make the decision. DaCosta will be alongside. I would let Eric DaCosta, yes, I would keep him around and let him pick a head coach. I think in the Lamar Jackson era, DaCosta is going to be a main part of it. I'm interested to see what he would do. Do they go familiar like Minter in LA? Because that's what it feels like. They like kind of keeping it close to the vest. Do they get kind of crazy and go to the college route? I'm not sure, but yes, I would let DaCosta make the choice. Could backfire, could put you in a tough spot, but I think you got to roll with him and see how it goes. I don't know that you want to find if you're going to clean house completely, find a new GM, find a new head coach, then you got to restart everything, I think. Now, your next GM and head coach would have a head start having Lamar Jackson a quarterback. But to your other point about the Lamar restructure, they got to get an extension done. The scare there is how many years Lamar Jackson is going to want, and if they want to risk Lamar at 34 and 35 being able to do what he's done. Now, this year, the running wasn't there as much as it's been, and that's part of the issue. So if you're giving him a 5-year deal, at age 35, are you concerned? And are you going to, backload it and at that point put you in a weird spot in 3 to 4 years? I think they have to. The next 3 years, go all in on trying to win a Super Bowl. Because as you mentioned, $74 million cap hit, you're not building a team with that. You're not going to win with that. You just can't. And Lamar Jackson, it's all in his hands. He's got the no trade clause. So the trade rumors, it's kind of like, unless he agrees to it, you can't trade him. He's going to be getting paid a lot. They got to try to see if they can come to terms on an extension. Does he want to discuss extension? He's got to. They need to come to an agreement because with Lamar Jackson at quarterback, this Ravens team will always have a chance. They just will. That's a fact. And then which teams would be willing to trade for John? It's a good question. The Giants, we know that there's been some crickets. They could trade for a coach. They could try to hire one. That's a spot that's kind of interesting. Right? Cleveland, the rumors came out yesterday that they're probably going to fire Stefanski or trade him if they can. The Raiders, the Pete Carroll experience, that didn't work. Do they want to go older again? The Titans, just a few teams that could ultimately trade for him. Difference is a lot of them have good picks. I don't know that the Ravens are going to get a top 5 pick for John Harbaugh. But it'd be better than to get a second-round pick or however they could do it for him. And that would also, DeCosta would be negotiating that. So it's a tough spot because if you're going to move up from DeCosta and Harbaugh, Bisciotti's going to be calling all the shots, right? It's going to be him hiring the GM, him and the GM working together to hire the head coach, but we know how that usually goes. It'll probably be the owner hiring the head coach as well. 410-583-1057 is the number to call. We do have to hit a break here. Coming back, phone lines are still full. We'll get to all you callers as the show goes on. That's coming up next here on the Baltimore Game Day and Sensor Postgame Show.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-932-5858. That's 800-932-5858. 800-932-5858.
It's cold outside, but it's heating up at Laurel Park. The Winter Meet kicks off Friday, January 9th and Saturday, January 10th with live racing and a free 2026 Maryland racing calendar. Grab a bite at Trackside Grill or Pit Stop Concessions, or elevate your dining at Tips or Tycoons. On Sunday, January 11th, join us for Bubbly Brunch with unlimited $15 mimosas as you watch and wager on races from across the country. First race starts at 12 p.m. For info, visit laurelpark.com. Watch, play, win.
Hey, man, that was our exit. We're going to miss kickoff.
Don't worry. Just got to stop by Giant to get some chips and dip real quick.
Nice. You got the Upside app too, right?
Upside? What's Upside?
Time out. You don't know this? Check this out. Upside is a free app that gets you cash back when you buy groceries. And it just added all Giant stores in D.C., Maryland, Virginia, and Delaware.
You're saying I can get money back just for buying groceries? That's a pretty big deal.
Yep, and with Upside, you can get up to $15 every time you shop at Giant. Now pull over and get the Upside app. Let's get some cash back on that queso.
Download the Upside app and use promo code CHARM02 to get a $10 bonus on your first grocery purchase at Giant. That's promo code CHARM02 to get a $10 bonus. Use promo code CHARM02. Giant is now on Upside. It's a pretty big deal.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Numbers don't lie. Brought to you by Dubo Law. Real people, real results. Call 410-ASK-DUBO for a free consultation.
I don't know how many times it had to come down to it being a kicker, to win the game for us. Probably years in the past, I don't know.
Yeah, there, Lamar Jackson talking about the game coming down to a kicker, and I agree. Like, there hasn't been many games that I think last year Justin Tucker against Cincinnati there came down to that, but they usually don't. It's usually the opposite, right? In that same game, Evan McPherson misses a field goal to give the Ravens a chance. Yes, unfortunate that it came down to that. And ultimately, Tyler Loop makes a field goal and misses the other. That's the biggest number here. The Ravens allowing 26 points to a Pittsburgh team. That one stands out. It's simple. There's nothing really need. You don't really need to jump in to any special numbers here. They weren't good enough defensively and missed the most important kick of the season. And the first time that we've seen him head out in the freezing cold in a game winner. It sucks that it was week 18 where that had to happen. 410-583-1057. Let's head back out to the phone lines now. Jack in Baltimore. What's going on, Jack?
Hey, what's going on, man? Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Sweet. So I got a couple statements to make, and then I just got one simple question. First, I want to talk about Marlon Humphrey. I mean, he couldn't tackle water if he fell out of a boat. I don't know if anyone saw that tonight. You got to get rid of him. He's old as dirt. I hate watching him out there. He's unathletic. He sucks. I want to move on to the offense next. I got two people I want to talk about specifically. Falele and Rosengarten couldn't block the sun out of their eye if their life depended on it. I mean, Rosengarten has to get rid of him. Falele, too. 6'8", 330, might be one of the worst interior O-linemen out there. And, man, I mean, I'm a huge Baltimore Ravens fan, and I'm seeing Flacco, 6'4", 220 out of Delaware, number 5 back there throwing the ball. But, I mean, watching the whole game, I've been playing football my whole life. You can't blame one individual player. But I got to ask about something, man. I mean, where's the heart on this team? It comes down to heart and passion. I'm sick of going out this way. I'm tired of it. I just want to hear your response. I might have one question after that, but, I mean, I can't do this. We might need a trade for Tyler Shaw, New Orleans Saints quarterback.
Appreciate the call. Yeah, I don't think Tyler Shuck will be spending any time in Baltimore. But now it does feel like sometimes the first half, it didn't seem like they had any heart. It didn't seem like they knew what was at stake. Now, down the stretch, the offense, time got tough. They came through. They were locked in. They made some big plays. But I don't know. They nailed like some of the biggest throws. It was 3rd and 1. Lamar Jackson hit Zay way down the field. And it sucked because anybody remembers the Torrey Smith touchdown in the back of the end zone. It was the right side. Perfect throw. Joe Flacco hits Torrey Smith, and they have the video go to Ed Reed on the sideline waiting to hear that penalty. And then he reacts. He jumps up. He's all excited because he knows it's on Pittsburgh. That's what the Zay Flowers one felt like to me. Little did I know the defense, with 2 minutes left, was going to just completely fall on their face. 410-583-1057. Let's go to Jerry in Baltimore. What's going on, Jerry?
Hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for taking my call, man.
Yeah.
Just want to ask you about a couple of questions here. Do you think it's time to, as far as look at the team as far as getting rid of a Harbaugh? Because obviously we've been 3-5 with Lamar, and Harbaugh failed as far as back-to-back number 1 seeds in the playoffs, and we just look absolutely terrible, in the playoffs. I mean, also with Lamar being $168 million guaranteed quarterback, he's not played up to par. And like you figure with Flacco, we've had him for 10 years and won Super Bowl with him, but they got Lamar in the draft, obviously, and moved on to Lamar. But I feel like we got old or a period of time really quick, and we lost a couple of costly years we should have won a Super Bowl with the team. But, we can't keep on losing costly years with these young guys, letting them get older. So just feel like we got to get better as a franchise, closing out close games, and hopefully we can turn back around and get a Super Bowl. Thanks for the call, guys.
Yeah, appreciate the call, Jerry. Yes, I do think it's time for a change at head coach. It definitely feels like they wasted a few years. I'll always say with the front office, during Lamar's rookie contract, felt like you definitely could have added an expensive wide receiver. D-Hop at a different point in his career, right? Not this year. They could have added one of those true wide receiver one, go-get-it guys, and they never were able to do that. Now, once you get Lamar's contract done and how much money you're going to pay him, you can't do that. So I do think they struggled during those times. 2023, this team was good enough to win a Super Bowl. They just were. Triple Crown defense. The offense was clicking. Last year, the defense was kind of put a Band-Aid on it and hope that holds up. That the offense was more than good enough. And if Mark Andrews doesn't fumble that ball, who knows how the rest of the year goes? Was last year the year they could have beat the Chiefs? I don't know, but right now, this team, where it is right now, not even close to good enough to win a Super Bowl. Because, this is a year that it should be. There's so many question marks. Denver, I don't know that they're very good. Buffalo, Ravens can handle Buffalo. Houston, their defense is ferocious, but next week, they're going to get after Aaron Rodgers, something bad. I don't see how Pittsburgh keeps that game close. I thought the Ravens maybe could because Lamar Jackson, but even then, that defense is different. The Ravens' offensive line is not very good. The Ravens' defense is bad. They can't hold anybody up. So, no, this team is not good enough to win anything right now. It feels like they wasted a few years, but Lamar still not in his 30s. I think they got to try to get an extension done. They have to hit on day 3 draft picks. With the amount of money you're paying places, and one of the callers mentioned Marlon Humphrey earlier, he cannot tackle. I mean, if he tackles Jaylen Warren in the backfield, you probably can close the game out with your defense. That was the first touchdown drive. There was a number of times where he could have shot up and tackled guys, and he could not bring dudes down. It's unfortunate, but he's also another one like people have suggested him moving to safety. Always seems like he's around the football. I don't know. He's a step slow. He's dealing with injuries a lot. We saw Jalen Ramsey do it in Pittsburgh, and he's had some success. But, I don't know. I think Marlon, his time in Baltimore is probably over. They'll figure out how to get around that because they just can't with that. And that's where I talk about the day 3 picks. Can you find a guard on day 3? You tried it with Voorhees. You traded back into that draft with the Browns to get there. Can you find a defensive back? Because we see other teams do it. But the Ravens, they got to hit on some day 3 picks when you're paying money the way that they are to other guys. 410-583-1057. Let's go to Mark in Chicago. What's going on, Mark?
Hello?
What's going on?
Hey, good evening, fellas. I just have one question. First, I have a comment. I'm a Lamar Jackson fan and a D-Hop fan. And I saw all during the year was a lot of ups and downs. I thought Mark Andrews was going to have a sort of MVP caliber season. He wasn't a factor. And my question is, and also I've been seeing the receivers dropping the ball one week, next week they catch it, and then the next week they drop it. And then this leads me to my question. Why didn't they utilize D-Hop? Is he getting old, or did they just want him on the field to bring a lot of attention to him? Why D-Hop wasn't in the game, much in the game, all during the regular season and tonight? Thanks for taking my call, folks.
Yeah, appreciate the call, Mark. For a good portion of the season, I would say it was frustrating. DeAndre Hopkins' role didn't make much sense. Felt like when they went his way, good things happened. They didn't have him on the field much. When they signed him, it was known it would probably be a pitch count. Tonight, Tez Walker was on the field a lot, and Tez Walker made some plays. Tez Walker's also a very good run blocker and gives them some stuff there. They definitely could have utilized him more. The passing offense, when it got going, it was more Zay Flowers and Isaiah Likely with the big catch. And on the Mark Andrews of it all, coming into this game, I thought for sure Mark Andrews would make some plays. He would be at the forefront of their success tonight, and he just really wasn't. Didn't catch enough passes, didn't have many plays down the field, and that's somebody who just extended. Now, the numbers aren't as big as it seems on social media because ultimately it's could end up being just a one-year extension, but felt like Likely he had his ups and downs. You would probably rather have seen them extend Likely. I know I would have. But Mark will be back next year. They're probably going to have to draft a tight end. Charlie Kohler is also a free agent. It'll be interesting to see how they do the tight end position, as it will the defensive line, as it will the guard spots. I think Emory Jones, you probably can pencil him in for one of the guard spots. But if they do bring in a new coaching staff, we could see some things shake up, right? They're going to want their guys playing, especially if they want the Ravens to draft an offensive lineman on day 2 or early day 3 pick that they think fits this offense, whether that it's an offensive-minded head coach or a defensive-minded head coach that brings in their own OC. There's a lot of questions about the offseason that it's hard to comment on what to expect next year. 410-583-1057. Bruce, Johnny, James, Lou, we will get to you guys as soon as we get back from this break, but we do have to take a break here on the Baltimore Gambit Central Postgame Show.
Hey, Ravens flock, we've got a deal that will make you flock to your nearest McDonald's. If our opponent misses a field goal during any home or away game, then you get a free 6-piece Chicken McNuggets with minimum $1 purchase the next day in the McDonald's app. And if our opponent misses 2 field goals, you're upgraded to a free 10-piece. What's good for the Ravens is good for the flock, right? Download the McDonald's app to redeem this deal. And that's not all. Save money when you order in the app. Offer valid at participating McDonald's. Valid 1 time per day. Visit McDonald's app for details. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Hey, it's Jeremy for Superior Motor Company. Start 2026 behind the wheel of something you actually love with our biggest New Year upgrade incentives of the season. Whether you're leveling up to a powerful truck, a stylish SUV, or something fuel-friendly for your commute, January is the best time to trade in and drive out. Top dollar trade-ins, rates as low as 4.9% APR on select models, and free Carfax on every vehicle. Easy, no-pressure buying experience. So make 2026 your year of better drives, smarter payments, and an upgrade that you'll love every day. Check out SuperiorMotorCompany.com.
Are you in the wrong job? I don't mean wrong line of work, but do you like what you do while feeling like your current job's robbing you of life? There's only 4 reasons, and the last one is a banger. 1, bad bosses. 2, crappy coworkers. And 3, being held accountable for outcomes without the authority or resources to make it happen. The third one's a killer. Wish I could fix everyone's problem with that, but I can do it for one lucky HVAC service manager. If you're a former tech who's moved up to management and feel frustrated at your current job, I can fix it for you. You'll work with the best guys and boss in the business with all the authority you need to make amazing service happen for our customers. And that 4th reason, the opportunity to prove yourself, move up, and make more money. Told you it was a banger, and I can offer you that too. Call me today and schedule an interview at
CALLAMAZING. Go to callamazing.com.
Touchdown! This football season, get the best deal in town. The Turtle Trio for $15.99 and $2 off personal pictures. Only at the Green Turtle. Touchdown! Head to the Green Turtle this football season for the all-new Turtle Trio. Build your own sampler with wings, sliders, egg rolls, and shrimp for just $15.99. Pair it with our personal picture specials. $2 off all day, every day. Bigger flavor, better value, only at the Green Turtle. Touchdown! Head to the Green Turtle this football season for the all-new Turtle Trio. Build your own sampler with wings, sliders, egg rolls, and shrimp for just $15.99. Pair it with our personal picture specials. $2 off all day, every day. Bigger flavor, better value, only at the Green Turtle.
From the Thompson Creek Window Company Studios, one window replacement company that does it all. This is WJZ-FM, Catonsville, Baltimore's sports talk at 105.7 The Fan, and always live on the free Odyssey app. Fantasy Island, brought to you by Dubo Law. Real people, real results. Call 410-ASK-DUBO for a free consultation.
Yes, Fantasy Island, we always have to hit that here. And if your fantasy leagues are still going, I'm sorry for you because I'm sure it was a waiver wire week. You didn't know who was playing how long. But if you had guys in this game, you would have liked to have Zay Flowers, who cleared 100. Lamar Jackson with a few big throws. Derrick Henry, most of his damage done early. Freiermuth had a few catches. Calvin Austin, Aaron Rodgers, of course, got it going. So there was more offense in this one than I think a lot of people expected because most Ravens-Steelers games are low scoring, not a lot of defense, but down the stretch, both of these defenses completely fell on their face. 410-583-1057. I do want to get to as many phone calls as we can here. Let's start with Lou in Baltimore. What's going on, Lou?
Yeah, hey, Ben. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
So, listen, I don't understand why this is even a topic of discussion as to whether John Harbaugh should be back next year. I mean, he should be gone. I'm going to be extremely disappointed if he's not gone by Tuesday. I don't understand what the rationale would be for keeping this guy. They blew another fourth quarter lead. Again, what's that, like 12, 13, 14, 15 blown fourth quarter leads for him? He leads the league by a wide margin in coaches that have blown leads in the fourth quarter in important games. What's the topic of discussion about him coming back next year? For what? What reason would you possibly want to bring him back? The only thing that I got solace from tonight is when they showed pictures of John Harbaugh on the sidelines tonight, he looked like a defeated man. He looked like a guy who knew the end was near, and I really hope that that is the case because we need new leadership at the top. John's lost his fastball. He doesn't have a curveball anymore. The team doesn't listen to him. They're sloppy. How many times are we going to see an illegal formation called on a John Harbaugh coach team? Like 100 times? I mean, come on, man. It's time to move on. I don't know what the bromance is between the owner and Harbaugh, But if you're making a rational decision and you're serious about winning the Super Bowl, you ain't doing it with John Harbaugh, so why bring him back? And that's all I got, man.
Yeah, appreciate the call, Lou. Always appreciate your call. I'm pretty much there with you. I think you got to shake it up. You need something new. This ain't working. And when will it? You go back to 2023, time and time again. How did it not work that year? Triple Crown defense. They didn't have a Max Crosby, Myles Garrett edge rusher, but they still led the NFL in sacks because they were able to come up big with those plays. They forced a lot of turnovers, and they were led by a great coach. The defense was Mike Macdonald. Because what did Mike do? Mike spent time with the Ravens, then goes to Michigan for 1 year, calls the defense under Jim, and then they hire him as the defensive coordinator. Kind of knew what was coming, right? Wink, his time was coming to an end. Mike Macdonald had some growing pains, but fixed it. Now, Zach Orr didn't go somewhere to call defense, right? He was in Baltimore as the outside linebackers coach, then goes down to Jacksonville as the inside linebackers coach, then comes back to Baltimore. And he's the play caller because they felt he was next up. But he didn't have the learning curve. And last year, he got off to a slow start. Fixed it. You could say down the stretch, their defense was much better. Some of that was who they were playing and all of those good things. But now we're in year two, at the end of year two, and we watched a 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers walk the Ravens down multiple times with a lead, with Pittsburgh blowing all of their timeouts way earlier than they needed to. It felt like we were watching the Ravens with clock management. But Pittsburgh burns all their timeouts. You know if you can get a stop and get a first down or two, the game's over, and you couldn't get off the field. John Harbaugh picked Zach Orr. That was his choice for the defensive coordinator. So he's as much to blame as Zach Orr. And John Harbaugh's also a defensive mind. He has the defensive background. He was a defensive backs coach. I know everybody always talks about the special teams, which he was, but he was also a defensive backs coach. So when you point the blame of the defense, a lot of it's got to be on Zach Orr. A lot of it's got to be on John Harbaugh and Eric DeCosta with the way that they were built. They weren't forcing turnovers in the secondary in the biggest moments here. It's just, it's a tough thing. It's really, really tough. And also, we have to they were without Kyle Hamilton. When you pay a guy that much money and you don't have him on the field, you're going to feel the difference. You just are. 410-583-1057. Let's go to James in Dundalk. What's going on, James?
Hey, how's it going tonight?
Doing all right, man. How you doing?
Pretty good. Needless to say. But just have a few things going on here. One, Humphreys can't even cover team's third, receivers. It's unreal.
Squad.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I mean, he's going to cost us a lot of money next year as well, if I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
Another thing, Orr definitely has to go. He has to be second, right behind Harbs. I don't understand how you cannot get a pass rush against a 40-some-year-old quarterback.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you, James. Appreciate the call. I don't get it either. Regardless of how this team is built, we've seen some lesser pass rushes get some pressure on him, make him move around. The issue is when the Ravens make him move around, somehow he gets out of it. Tavius Robinson did a great job closing to make that tackle, but then there was the 15-yard run. It's like, how do you let that happen? 410-583-1057. Johnny in Hamilton. What's going on, Johnny?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing all right, man. How you doing?
All right. I hope you had a happy New Year.
Same to you, Johnny. Same to you.
Okay, here's a few of my observations. The problem with the Ravens is managerial. Eric DeCosta is not Ozzie Newsome. John Harbaugh, you said, and that is true, it was under Andy Reid, I believe. He was special teams and a defensive back coach. That is not the same as a defensive coordinator or offense.
Right.
If I'm an offensive coordinator and I can tell my defensive coach this is what these guys are doing to you or vice versa. He is totally dependent upon the people that he picks that has his same philosophy, which to me is be buddies. Okay? This team showed the weaknesses. They front-loaded it all to secondary, but they did not address the line problems on defense and offense. Any quarterback that you give that man Rodgers 3 seconds to throw the ball, he's going to kill you. I could have a secondary of Woodsons and Reeds. You're going to get burnt. They need to change that management. And I also believe that Steve Bisciotti, because I believe the Ravens can... Hello?
Yeah, we got you.
What are they currently valued at? About $6.5 billion?
Yeah, probably around there.
All right, he wants one more Super Bowl, so when he sells it, it's going to be about $7.5 billion. And I'm waiting for him to drop the hammer. He has been, because he's the kind of guy real close to the vest. He modeled the Ravens after the Rooneys. Continuity. It has to change at management. That offensive line for the Ravens can only do run blocking. They cannot do pass protection.
Yeah.
How many times has Lamar Jackson been sacked this year? Close to 60?
Yeah, more than any other quarterback.
Right. Do you think his mother, who is a prime force with him, is going to say, you're going to go like Michael Vick or Cam Newton? No. And that contract is coming up. So they need structural change, and it's got to be Bisciotti to drop the hammer. That's my opinion on all of it.
Yeah, appreciate the call, Johnny. A lot of points you make there. The Ravens absolutely did want to be like the Steelers with Bisciotti, and I think that plays a role in why John has lasted here so long. They have the success, but they've come up short, and for years, people wanted to see something different. I think right now, Bisciotti's got to make the change. You can't go back to this and run this back. And it's also going to be interesting how Eric DeCosta handles this offseason. You talk about management and how they go about things. Put a lot of money in the back end, and it resulted in, not much. Injuries definitely hurt. They put a lot of money into Matabike. It's hard to predict Matabike going down with injury, 100%. But when you can't force the interior pressures that he does and get to the quarterback from the inside, Travis Jones is very good football player. Love that extension. But they need somebody on the outside that opposing quarterbacks, opposing play callers, stay up late the night before trying to figure out how we can avoid letting them change this football game. They don't have anything close to that right now. And this isn't a shot to Mike Green. I think Mike Green could absolutely get to that. But he's still young, and he was forced to play so many snaps because the guys they had just weren't it. And they added Draymond Jones, who, as I said earlier, his first 2 weeks, we saw that impact. Tonight, there wasn't much. Tavius Robinson, we know how hard of a worker he is. He's going to get to the quarterback at some point. He's going to make tackles, but he's not a game wrecker. They need a true game wrecker, to me, to fix this defense. And then some other things. Roquan Smith playing up to what he's being paid, because Roquan Smith tonight was a ghost. We haven't even talked about him. The way that they were running the ball in the second half, and you just see him diving at feet, not coming down with tackles. It's like, dude, you're getting paid too much money for this. Way too much money for this. If we could get that first few weeks that we had of Roquan Smith, I still remember the Saints game, his first matchup. Alvin Kamara tackles him in the backfield multiple times, and you felt the difference that he was. This year, that just wasn't the case. The play in Green Bay was awesome. Fourth down, shooting the gap. But outside of that, he hasn't done much, and he struggles in coverage. 410-583-1057. Let's go to Trey in Joppa. What's going on, Trey?
What's up, my man?
How you doing?
Not bad, but tough season, tough loss. The agony of defeat. It's always tough at these hours. One thing I want to say about the coaching situation, and I'm not one of these people that is basing my fandom on whether Harbaugh is back or not.
Right.
I'm going to be a Ravens fan. That's just my team. But one thing, it's funny. The reason I think a lot of people want to get rid of Zachary Orr, young, inexperienced, is the same reason I just can't wait to see if the Ravens do move on from Harbaugh, who's out there and what direction they would want to go in. Do we want a young, inexperienced? Would we want like a Ben Johnson, somebody that hasn't done it before, young upstart coach, with a team that we're going to deem, regardless if Harbaugh's here or not, is in win-now mode, still with Lamar Jackson? Do we want those growing pains? People might point to Mike McDonald. Mike McDonald hasn't won yet, guys. Let's not, we're not crowning him off of regular season wins. They've had some good seasons, but let's see if he gets it done. I'm old enough to remember Harbaugh as a rookie coach going to back-to-back AFC championship games. But that's neither here nor there. And like I said, I'm not preferencing this by saying I want Harbaugh back. I'm actually forward-thinking. I'm already thinking, I'm listening to you guys and the fans, and we want to move on from him. But I don't know if we want the young guy that hasn't been there before. This is his first time. And I just don't know the older candidates that are out there. One more quick point, Ben. Defensively and where we're going to spend our money. We haven't had high draft picks where usually them premier pass rushers get taken. So, Ojabo, second round, we tried to luck up there. It didn't work. Mike Green fell to us. Questions in the draft, tried to luck up there. I don't want to strike out on the third strike. I think we're going to have to just bite the bullet in the free agency, go spend some money up there. Because when you watch this rush the passer, you almost, if you're Zach Orr, even when I blitz, we don't create any whiffs on an offensive line. Nobody wins what I would say wins easy or wins fast. And it's just frustrating. I mean, if I'm a defensive coordinator and I have Myles Garrett, what play do I really need to call? It's not a whole bunch of scheme I need when I got Nick Bonito, when I got a Max Crosby, or, a TJ Watt, when he's playing good ball. And we just didn't have that. It's nothing a defensive coordinator can call guys that can make a guy beat a block. If you always want me to outnumber him, well, I am going to compromise my secondary. And I think that's, what he was so afraid of. And guess what? If you're going to go down swinging with something, you got to go down. But I think we really need to address the pass rush. But I'm curious to see what you think about what direction we should go in as far as a young coach or older coach. Thanks for the time, Ben.
Yeah, appreciate the call, Trey. Always appreciate your call post-game. It's a very good question, and it's unfortunate that it was this offseason. Like, you got to think Ben Johnson last year, we know that there were all these teams that wanted him, and he was being very quiet and weird with how he was handling it. Nobody really knew what was going to be the decision. Nobody knew where he was going to go. There were some rumors that he might want to go with Caleb Williams, young. I don't think we have that this year. Just being completely honest with you, right? I think it's a lot of defensive coordinators, younger guys. Jeff Hafley's a name that comes to mind a lot. He's in Green Bay right now, was at Boston College for years, had that program moving in the right direction, got them to a bowl, had a lot of success in Green Bay this year. Don't look now. The defense, when it was healthier, was playing good football. That's a name, Jesse Minter, we brought up earlier. I think you got to go young. We saw what's going on in Las Vegas. Now, Las Vegas, general manager, there's a lot of issues there. The team isn't built great, but they went old, and that just didn't work, right? Pete Carroll, there's already the rumors that he's going to be out. In today's day and age in the NFL, I think you got to go pretty young. But the issue here, some people want that offensive-minded guy, and I don't know that they're out there. Kubiak, maybe. Clint. Seattle's offense has clicked. You have to imagine he'd be able to do more with Lamar Jackson than he did this past year with Sam Darnold. But is he ready for a head coaching role? Right, we just saw New Orleans move on. Like, I don't know. I think that the safest young hires are probably Minter and Hafley. Hafley's done it. He did it in college. And I talked about that earlier with McDonald with the defense. He called a defense in Michigan and did a damn good job of it, so you feel a little bit better versus Zach Orr calling plays for a first time. we've seen Hafley as a head coach. A lot of these guys we just haven't. I'm really interested to see how they go about it. Vance Joseph, he's had, spent time as a coach before. So that'd be an area there, but I think you got to go young and completely change it up, which is why Minter scares you a little bit, because Minter does have ties to Baltimore, and you have to imagine there will be multiple people on his staff that have spent time here at one point under John Harbaugh or another. Hafley's a little bit different. 410-583-1057. Let's get back out to the phone lines now. Bruce in Parkville. What's going on, Bruce?
Hey, how you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Bruce. How you doing?
Yeah, all right. I used to coach football, and I want to say for 10 years, Harbaugh, a lot of times, he depended on Justin Tucker to make field goals. There's so many games Justin Tucker won for the Ravens, and you look it back, even the one in Detroit for 60-some yards, and every time he could depend on Justin Tucker. And I'm not knocking this guy Luke, but when you miss a 44, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Okay, another thing. You brought up about Houston. Oh, Houston's going to kill Pittsburgh. Well, I'm going to tell you a little story. I'm a Colts fan. I'm an old guy, and I coach football. And we got a quarterback now, I said today. He played against Houston, and they played the first stringer, and he played our boy from Notre Dame, our rookie.
Riley Leonard.
Riley played unbelievable against our first team.
Yeah.
So we got her, and another coach. He won't be fired because they changed. Mr. Irsay died, and I think one of the upcoming coaches, he's 40 years old, is Shane Steichen. You like Shane? He was with Philly when they won the championship. He left Philly. He was the offensive coordinator, and I think, and Lamar Jackson played one of his best games all year tonight. I'll give him credit. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Well, Lamar played, and the offensive line, that needs to be rebuilt for the Ravens. Definitely. The offensive line, everybody's saying the defense, the offensive line. And you got to you said Rodgers, he's 43. There's a guy filled in for three games, and we only lost to Seattle because of 6 field goals. And that was Phillip Rivers, right? 44. You got to admit, it was out. We only lost to Seattle, if you look. And the day we lost to Houston, because they kicked 6 field goals. So look at the Ravens. This guy misses a field goal. Okay, I love you. And everybody knows me as the Fem. Okay, bye.
Appreciate the call, Bruce. Colts perspective there. Maybe. Anything could happen in the NFL playoffs. I just don't see Pittsburgh beating Houston with the warts that Pittsburgh has. Now, we're going to get to around the NFL in just a little while. We'll talk about it a little bit more. We'll look ahead to some of the playoff matchups. That's going to be a Monday night game in Pittsburgh. That crowd's going to be rocking. They'll be into it like they were tonight once you get Renegade going. It's tough, but it should be a fun game to watch. 410-583-1057, Sam in Rosedale. What's going on, Sam?
Hey, nothing much. Just call it a bitch like everybody else. And I got to say that Monken is not getting a whole lot of attention, and he needs to get a lot of attention, and he needs to get the heck out of town. He's taken the ball out of the quarterback's hands for the last 3 weeks and depended on a running game that only works when the offensive line decides that they're going to make it work, which hasn't been a whole lot of times this year. And I just think that he is one that really needs to go with the rest of the coaching staff. And a lot of these defensive backs, the coaches that do that also, they need to go. Because when you come into a game and play 5 to 10 yards off of a receiver, you're going to get beat. I don't care who you are. You're just going to get beat. It's too friggin' far. And these people need to know that we, as fans, deserve better than what they've put on the field for the last 3 seasons. So, that's basically what I got.
Yep, appreciate the call, Sam. I'll be honest, I'm not as critical of Todd Monken as you are there. I had no issue with them riding Derrick Henry how they did the past few weeks. I think it was successful. I had an issue with 9 minutes to go against New England, him not getting touches and it being a Keaton Mitchell drive. But from that point on, it felt like he righted the wrongs. Green Bay, 36 carries, Derrick Henry career high, and he had a lot of success in that matchup today. I think he got a lot of touches, more than enough, and the offense scored 24, almost 27 points. I didn't have an issue with Monken. Thought he did a fine job. Of course, I think this year was up and down for him, but we also saw probably the best Ravens offense in I don't know how long, just last year. And he was calling it and had a lot of success doing it. We've seen Lamar's game grow a big time amount with Todd Monken as the offensive coordinator. So I do think it's up and down. I think he struggled a little bit this year. I think he's gotten in his own way some, but they're human beings. I don't have as big of an issue with Monk as some others. 410-583-1057. Greg in Parkville. What's going on, Greg?
Hey, what's going on, man? Well, I just wanted to say, when is the last time John Harbaugh won us a game when we walked away from the game and say that was a hell of a coaching move that he made, man? I can't remember, But it's a guy, man, that's coaching the defense up in Cleveland, man, from Baltimore, from our viewers. Man, Jimmy Schwartz, man, he's doing a hell of a job, man. I don't know why he's not more connected to Baltimore. He's right from around the corner. And then I think they should look at that boy from the one under Seattle, the offensive coordinator. When his father was here, we won. He did an outstanding job as offensive coordinator, One of those two guys, man, for my head coaching taste, man. But I really like Schwartz, man, what he did with that Cleveland defense. That's the only reason this game was relevant today anyway. So that's it.
Yeah, appreciate the call, Greg. Schwartz absolutely went to Mount St. Joe. Grew up in the area, spent a lot of time here. I don't know that he would be the choice. He's a little older. Did spend 5 years in Detroit. Went to the playoffs once there, but outside of that, not much. He also has Myles Garrett in Cleveland, and they've had some defensive playmakers. We always say it, though. If Cleveland ever just had a quarterback, if they would have held on to Baker, if they had a quarterback, Cleveland, we'd be talking differently about. But they can't seem to get out of their own way. And it's been like that forever with quarterbacks. 410-583-1057. We'll get to a few more phone calls as soon as we get back, but we do have to hit a break here on the Baltimore Game Day Uncensored Postgame Show.
Grow, keep, and distribute your wealth in the most tax-efficient manner possible. Listen to the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast. Weekend mornings here on 105.7 The Fan.
Hi, I'm Reese Friedman on behalf of the law offices of Michael A. Friedman. Handling an accident case requires a game plan, just like football. Hire a reconstruction expert, have a private investigator track down a witness, set an appointment with a medical specialist, prepare for settlement or trial. As experts, we are flexible and will audible out if needed. So call 410-363-6848 or email us from maflaw.com for a free consultation. The law offices of Michael A. Friedman, serving the community for over 40 years.
Around the NFL is sponsored by the law offices of Michael A. Friedman, serving the community for over 40 years. Call them today at 410-363-6848 or email them from maflaw.com for a free consultation.
Yes, we will now go around the NFL. Have to look at the playoff picture. It's tough to do it now with the Ravens out of it, but we got to do it. We always go around the NFL here on this show. Wild card weekend is set. It will start Saturday, 4:30 p.m. kickoff. You got the Rams, Panthers, followed by Packers, Bears. That's the 8 p.m. kickoff Saturday night. It's going to be super exciting. We know the matchup they had just a few weeks ago for the Bears to win that division. Very interesting game there. Sunday, you got the Bills heading to Jacksonville, the 49ers heading to Philadelphia for what's going to be probably one of the most exciting games of that wildcard weekend, I'd say. Just with the firepower. Eagles, very good defense. The offense hasn't been as good. But two teams that really have been down to the end in the past few years, right? The Eagles and the 49ers have been the two teams in the NFC to make it most recently and have a lot of success doing it. And then 8 p.m. Sunday, the Chargers Patriots. Interesting. Could we see the future Ravens head coach calling the defense that night? And then Monday night, we thought it was going to be the Ravens against the Texans, but ultimately it will be Texans at Pittsburgh. A lot of Ravens fans rooting against Pittsburgh next Monday night, including myself. And I don't see Pittsburgh beating Houston. But we did have the caller mention earlier. Anything can happen in these playoffs. And Rodgers has won playoff games before. Completely different of what he once was, but he absolutely could do it. I would not count him out. I wouldn't count them out. Just with how good Houston's defense is and them kind of letting guys take a break this week, trying to stay healthy. CJ Stroud, Nico Collins. Stroud left the game early. Nico Collins was inactive. I don't know that Pittsburgh's defense is going to be able to get enough stops, and I also don't know that their offense will be able to produce enough points. This game will be prime time in Pittsburgh. That does change things a little bit, but still, ultimately, I don't think that there will be much different there. Some other noteworthy games today. Staying in the division, the Browns beat the Bengals on a game-winning field goal from Smith. That was a very interesting game. Smith makes a 49-yard field goal as time expires. Surprisingly enough, they win 20-18. And Joe Burrow post-game and Jamar Chase kind of taking shots at that front office or the head coach. When they asked him if he trusts the coach moving forward, he says, I trust myself to get open, and I trust myself to get open with the plays that they call. So there's obviously going to be a lot of interesting moves for Cincinnati in the offseason. Joe Burrow, a lot of people have questioned, could he be traded? Doesn't sound like he will, but he did say that he thinks that him and the front office are in the same area of what they think this team needs to get to the next level. We know the offense is there. They just got to fix the defense. The other 1 p.m. game that meant anything, the Saints-Falcons. Falcons win. The Panthers are headed to the playoffs. The Saints win. Bucks are headed to the playoffs. The Bucks beat the Panthers to stay alive on Saturday, but the Falcons come out on top here 19-17, sending the Panthers to the playoffs for a matchup with the Rams, which we saw weeks ago, and the Panthers were able to win that game. Funny enough, they're going to host. The NFC West was just so good. A Rams team that at one point looked like they win the division before losing and blowing that game on national TV that Thursday night. Tough for the Rams. They now have to play on the road for the majority, but they're going to beat Carolina this week, I feel like. They are another team who benched and rested a few guys. Could they get back Devontae Adams? That'll be interesting to see. It sounds like they were pretty confident they'll have him. Who knows? 410-583-1057. We do have to hit another break here. Coming back, we'll get you guys some more audio. We'll take some of your phone calls. That's coming up next here on the Baltimore Game Day Uncensored Postgame Show.
When you join the Why Now, you pay no join fees and gain a real community of people who value positivity and health for all. Plus, there's no contract or add-on fees to tie you down. Just great exercise classes and equipment, pools, pickleball, game rooms, stay and play for kids, food pantries, and a welcoming community. The Why. There truly is no place like this place. Join the Why by January 13th and pay no join fee. A savings of up to $74. Go to joinwhymaryland.org.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Are you in the wrong job? I don't mean wrong line of work, but But do you like what you do while feeling like your current job's robbing you of life? There's only 4 reasons, and the last one is a banger. 1, bad bosses. 2, crappy coworkers. And 3, being held accountable for outcomes without the authority or resources to make it happen. The third one's a killer. Wish I could fix everyone's problem with that, but I can do it for one lucky HVAC service manager. If you're a former tech who's moved up to management and feel frustrated at your current job, I can fix it for you. You'll work with the best guys and boss in the business with all the authority you need to make amazing service happen for our customers. And that 4th reason, the opportunity to prove yourself, move up, and make more money. Told you it was a banger, and I can offer you that too. Call me today and schedule an interview at
CALLAMAZING. Go to callamazing.com.
It's the McDonald's postgame show. Call or text with your take on the Ravens game. 410-583-1057.
You asking me about next year, Jameson. Like, I'm so caught up in what just happened tonight. I can't focus on that right now. I just told you, like he asked me, are you stunned? I'm stunned right now. I'm still trying to process what's going on.
Lamar Jackson there responding to a question about next year. And that was kind of the question was asked about John Harbaugh and if he wanted, whether he wants John Harbaugh back. He was asked about his contract, the entire offseason activity, and all of those things, and that was the response. Now, it wasn't yes, I want my head coach back. It was, and Lamar is very fair to answer that the way he did, right? But it was interesting that he didn't kind of defend the head coach, and I don't blame him. I don't know that anybody in that building should be happy with where things are, and they got to do something to fix it. Because again, you're only going to get so many years of Lamar's prime, and he's getting older. They got to fix this. They just have to fix this. Here's Lamar talking about the offseason again.
We just lost a game, a divisional game, a game to put us in the playoffs. I'm not even thinking about that right now, to be honest with you. I'm still caught up in what just happened, That's not my focus right now.
So, yeah, he wasn't going to comment directly. Of course, Lamar has got to be stunned to put up the performance that he did in the second half and still come out as a loser in this game. You should not do what he did and lose a football game, ever. You shouldn't. He's the first quarterback in NFL history to lose a game after throwing multiple go-ahead fourth-quarter touchdowns of 50-plus yards. Crazy stat, weird, but let's be real. If a quarterback is shooting you down the field like that, the defense has to get one stop. They just couldn't. And the kicker also has to make a 44-yarder, or the head coach has to say, we're not content with this being 44. Let's try to make it 39. Let's try to make it 37. Yes, they're going to stack the box, but Derrick Henry's beat stacked boxes before. It's so tough, and it falls on Lamar, misses the playoffs, and it was a tough year for him. Dealt with injuries, battled back, dealt with a lot of stuff in the media that was unfair to him, in my opinion, and still they were not able to get in. They couldn't do it. Here's Lamar coming up short.
I guess so. That's what you want to call it. I guess so. I don't know. I can't call it, man. I just came up short. We didn't want to. I felt like offense played great. Offense was playing great. Second half, fourth quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. I just wish we scored more points.
Yeah. I'm right there with him, but the offense did play great in the fourth quarter. The crucial time of the game. Like, we can look back to the third, the second, the first. We can do all that. In crunch time, when they needed something done to win the game, the offense did their job multiple times. The special teams unit and the defense screwed them. And it was before the kick with the special teams. Tyler Loop kicks the football out of bounds. You start them at the 40, you're already in a really good spot if you're Pittsburgh. Especially when you're facing a team without Kyle Hamilton, a team that's one of the worst tackling Ravens teams I've ever seen. And I remember the years before Roquan, right? The Josh Bynes years, like it felt like they always struggled to tackle. Patrick Queen, early in his career, they struggled tackling. They just did. But now, when Roquan was added and that year, it fixed some things. But it's right back to where it once was. Times where you feel like they haven't bottled up in the backfield, they're going to stop the run. They can't do it. And that's in the secondary, it's at the linebacker position, it's on the defensive line. The few times they do get to the quarterback, they struggle to bring guys down regardless of who is playing quarterback. We all remember last time they faced Pittsburgh, Aaron Rodgers sneaking away from Mike Green and making a play. Like, it just, crazy stuff happens. 410-583-1057. Let's go to Mick in Baltimore. What's going on, Mick?
Hey, Nick, nice breakdown of the game. That's okay. I appreciate it. You know, it's the Ravens-Steelers rivalry. It's decade after decade, and it always seems like lately, even over the decades, they get the extra week, they get the extra football fun, they get the X's and O's to get talked about more. So I want to start my call by saying shame on our media, our in-house media that covers the Ravens, because they bring the same usual suspects to the microphone. And when, not you guys there, not 105 fan, because you guys are critical and you guys break down the X's and O's. But when you get stupid reporters asking Lamar after a game, what does he think about Harbaugh? Will he stay or leave next year? This is the garbage that drives really fans who love this team and love to break down the football crazy. Because what you do is you need to get people like Ronnie Stanley or Voraz, break it down, get some of the offensive linemen or the defensive linemen, and ask them some questions like, why do you get blown up every play by Cam Hayward? Why does he penetrate and put his hands up? And then you ask our defensive linemen like Robinson and Urban, for some reason, who lines up 2 yards, 3 yards off the ball. I don't know what position that's called. And they run right at him because he's 4 yards off the ball and he stands up every time. And they're plowing away 4 and 5 yards. And then Aaron Rodgers is dinking and dunking. And then our defense doesn't want to tackle. That's where the game was lost today. It was lost at the line of scrimmage. If you're an offensive lineman and you know that the Steelers have high-energy defensive players, and you even on the first play of the game where Cam Hayward gets hurt downfield, here's a nose guard running 30 yards downfield or 40 yards downfield after Derrick Henry's longest run of the game because he's hustling. Because why? We can't have offensive linemen that can stay with their blocks. That's the problem with this team. They don't get coached up in the interior, and they're just not physical enough. And if you look at Tomlin at halftime, he said, I don't care about people like Henry who got 100 yards on us at half or Lamar who's to make big plays. I care of the fact that we made some stops on this team. So on offense in the third quarter, our offense kind of fell asleep for a while, didn't it? Couldn't move anything. You know, we weren't on the field enough. We had Lamar who became vintage Lamar again in the fourth quarter. But, you know, we didn't run enough plays on offense because our defense can't tackle. And Aaron Rodgers just kept possessing the ball and no pressure on him. He had all day, no hands in the face. Defensive linemen for the Steelers put their hands up. And last thing I just want to talk about, the special teams unit. Harbaugh's not going anywhere next year, but there's going to be some position coaches that are going to lose their job. And our special teams coaching is abysmal. I feel sorry for this rookie because he's not getting coached up the right way. Most NFL kickers have never kicked the ball out of bounds this year with the new rules. Some have done it once or twice. You know how many times Tyler Loop has kicked the ball out of bounds so our opponents start at the 40-yard line?
Leads the NFL.
That was a dagger tonight. 5 times.
Yeah.
5 times. And he kicks the ball right, way wide on that kickoff, and then he's kicking the game winner attempt to the same side of the stadium. And then, you know, the way the Ravens ran that last 44 seconds off, or you know, I'm sorry, when they had the 2 minutes and they just kept taking too much time between the plays, I thought they could get it down there a little bit sooner. The fact of the matter is, you got Henry there with one timeout to go. I would depend on Henry getting that ball and running it another 5-6 yards because he probably could have grinded it in a little bit. And then you ask Tyler Loop, do you want the ball at the left hash? Is the wind blowing to the right? Do you want the ball at the right hash? You know, or did he want it in the middle like that? I'm curious to see what kind of preparation the special teams coach did with Coach Harbaugh and say, is this what you really wanted to do at the end of the game? Just have Lamar back up 3 yards and kind of fall down in the middle of the field? If that's the case, that's fine. But this kid was set up to fail this year. Our special teams has never returned the ball. They don't cover punts right. The kickoff returns are abysmal. And, other than Mitchell's big play tonight that got us back in the game at the 50-yard line on the return, you can't really point to too many special teams plays this year. So they just got to figure it out, too. You don't need to kick the ball high on these kickoffs. If this new rule is just you can take off when the guy gets the ball, I would grind the ball into the ground every kickoff. These kickers in the NFL, I don't know what they're doing with this rule. And even it doesn't pay to kick it in the end zone either if you start at the 35-yard line. That's where you're giving Rodgers a starting position every day. We fell apart in starting field position as well. I'm throwing a lot out you. The special teams didn't win or lose this particular game. We lost it in the trenches. And until we learn to coach up our offensive line and our defensive pass rush and our tackling, this team will never go anywhere. And I don't know if Zach Moore, he just couldn't follow the lead of our defensive coordinator last year. They worked together. They should be on the same page with good tackling, situational football, and this defense can't tackle.
Yeah, I think dropped you there, Nick. Appreciate the call. Yeah, definitely a lot there. The special teams was absolutely an issue for the majority of the year. I trust that they did talk to Luke before dropping in the middle of the field and getting him that kick. That's probably where he wanted it. I do think it should have been 1 or 2 Henry carries. Now, you want to hold an extra timeout in case it's a weird snap and you want to call a real quick timeout if you go down, whatever. I understand if you want to hold on to one of those timeouts, but you had 2. Running the ball up the middle once, try to get it 39, somewhere in there. And again, we had the caller mention earlier, well, they're going to load the box and try to tee off to stop the run. I've seen a lot of teams get beat that way against Derrick Henry. I've seen it happen before. There, could he have gotten them 3 or 4 more yards? Ultimately, that kick right there wouldn't have saved it, but who knows? They were confident in it being 44 for their kicker, and he went wide right. We never saw him kick something like that all year. There has not been anything that important for the full season. There just hasn't. And during the offseason, when we talked about moving on from Justin Tucker, the question was, when is it going to be, nail-biting, nervous moments? Because even Justin Tucker last year had some struggles, was not kicking the football well. He hit some clutch kicks. We haven't seen that with Loop. He's drilled a few field goals in the second quarter, in the third quarter. But with time expiring, you need it from 44. He goes wide right. 410-583-1057. We do have to hit a break here. Before we hit the break, we do have to do our read, our McDonald's read that we always do here. When the opponent misses a field goal, you get a free 6-piece McNuggets with minimum $1 purchase on the McDonald's app the next day. Opponents miss another field goal, you're upgraded to a free 10-piece. Unfortunately, the extra point doesn't count for that. And neither does Tyler Loop missing a field goal. So no free chicken nuggets for you guys. Sorry. Unfortunate, but that's the least of our worries tonight. Coming up next year, we'll wrap things up and look ahead to the offseason.
Want to turn up the heat and turn up the savings this winter? Go with Petro. Switch now and get $125 free heating oil with reliable delivery in any weather, flexible pricing plans, an easy budget plan, and live 24/7 service and support. Go with your local HVAC pros at Petro for best-in-class service and comfort you can count on. Use propane? Ask about special offers. Go to petro.com now to get your $125 free heating oil or call 1-888-PETRO02 today. Propane not available in all areas.
My name is
is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
As the owner, coach, and quarterback of your small business, you call the shots. From inventory to payroll and more. Now it's time to bring in LendSeek, your funding MVP. No delay of game here. Get up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours for business lines of credit or term loans. Let LendSeek's AI marketplace assist you in making the winning play and score that touchdown. Apply at lendseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
Final thoughts on the Ravens game.
Yes, very disappointing night for myself, for all Ravens fans, as the Ravens fall short in Pittsburgh for the battle for the AFC North. Did not expect it to go that way. I thought coming in they would win the game. I thought it'd be down to the end. I actually did say on the pregame show I expected it to be a Tyler Loop game-winning field goal. We were pretty close to that. We got the opportunity and came up short. Just came up short in a big spot, and it sucks because of the roller coaster of emotion to go from what you think is a loss, and in third quarter we all had to be feeling in an awful spot. There's no way they're going to be able to get anything going. 13 points could win this game. And all of a sudden, on the play where Lamar Jackson extends it, everybody's asking why he's not running. He's got open field in front of him, just a few yards to go for the first down. He points to Zay Flowers, hits him down the field on a nice strike, and then you're feeling good again. And then the defense lets you down. A few plays later, same thing. Lamar Jackson hits Zay down the field. A nice route by Zay, wide open. They're lost in coverage. Touchdown. All right, defense, just get off the field once. Pittsburgh has no timeouts. They go down the field, score with 55 seconds left. All right, well, the offense has been good enough. Oh, Boswell misses an extra point. You're right back in it. A field goal can win it now and not just send it to overtime. Maybe it would have been better had he made that, because with 11 seconds left, maybe they take a shot to the end zone and try to win it. Now, there's maybe not as much success, whatever, but they thought that Loop would be automatic from 44, and special teams bites them. But the caller before, Nick, had mentioned they did have a big return from Keaton Mitchell, right? He shows the explosive return. He gets them out near midfield. You're in a really good spot. Bad penalty on Ronnie Stanley, who didn't play well whatsoever. And that's one of your vets. It's unfortunate that it happened, but it just can't, and it did. And now we'll have all the conversation for the next few days. Is John Harbaugh going to be the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens in 2026? If you told me I had to make a decision right now on what I think will happen, I would say they move on. I think with it being another kind of heartbreaking game in your hands type of loss, you're never going to be able to get over it. And they need something new. But once they find the head coach, because again, I think it will still be Eric DeCosta, they're going to let him Steve will work with him to find a head coach, and he'll get an opportunity to, I mean, he's probably not picking it. It'll be Steve, but they'll work together for that, and DeCosta will stick around. But then comes what, the head coach, as big as the discussion that is, the quarterback. And can you get an extension with him to help kill the $74 million cap hit in the offseason? Who knows? What's going to be the addition? Will they be able to somehow, some way, again, I'm not an expert with the cap, how can they make a Max Crosby work in the trade market? Because it sounds like it's growing that he's probably going to be traded or at least shopped. And how much are you going to have to give up? How comfortable? We know how Eric DeCosta and the Ravens are with their picks. How comfortable are you giving up multiple first-round picks? But that also stems, what do you get if you do trade John Harbaugh? If you were able to, could you net something in return there that you could flip for something else? It'll be interesting to see. It's also not baseball or basketball where you can just do all these things. Trades aren't as normal in these sports, but I do think we'll see quite a few in the offseason. And in Baltimore, if they're not able to get an extension done with Lamar Jackson, a restructure, and things get ugly, he has a no trade clause. But if he wants out, I just don't know. I don't know how things will go. I would expect him to be the quarterback in 2026. I think he should be the quarterback in 2026. But hopefully at that point, there's something new on the coaching staff. It'll definitely be a new defensive coordinator. I would expect it to be the whole staff. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate all the listeners, the viewers on YouTube. You guys are greatly appreciated. All of the callers. Michael did a great job this year behind the glass for me. All the callers all year long. Really appreciate it. Had a very, very fun time at what was a roller coaster of a season. It was a difficult finish. Times were very low at some points for the year for this team, but they still, till week 18, things mattered, and we were able to finish it with a meaningful show. So again, appreciate all the listeners, appreciate the callers, everybody who called in all year, everybody who showed love. It is greatly appreciated, and hopefully we will see you guys again next year, week 1 in 2026.
From the Thompson Creek Window Company Studios, this is WJZ-FM Catonsville, Baltimore's sports talk at 105.7 The Fan, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834.